The bell pepper. What a wonderful vegetable it is. Crisp, sweet, and bursting with color, it's a highlight of any summer garden or kitchen plot. Yet for so many gardeners it remains an elusive prize. We sow the seeds with great hope, we plant the young seedlings with care, and then we watch as they struggle. The leaves might turn a bit yellow, the growth might seem stunted, and the promised fruits either fail to appear or remain small and disappointing. It's a common story, and one that leads many to believe that peppers are simply too difficult, too fussy, or too demanding for the average gardener. It's a real shame, because that simply isn't the truth. The biggest mistake I see, time and time again, is that gardeners are trying far too hard. We fuss over our pepper plants, we give them a little water today, a bit of feed tomorrow, and we are constantly checking on them, expecting immediate results. This constant attention, while well-intentioned, is often the very thing that causes the plants to fail. Peppers are not plants that enjoy a great deal of change. They are creatures of habit, you see. Constant fluctuations in moisture, nutrients, and temperature create stress. And a stressed pepper plant is one that will not produce the glorious, thick-walled fruits we all dream of. Think of it this way. A pepper plant is a bit like a shy guest at a party. It doesn't want to be the center of attention, constantly being asked if it needs another drink or a different chair. It just wants to find a comfortable spot, settle in, and be left to enjoy the atmosphere. When we provide our peppers with a stable, consistent environment from the very beginning, they can relax. Their energy, which would otherwise be spent coping with stress, is instead channeled directly into growing strong roots, lush foliage, and, most importantly, an abundance of beautiful sweet peppers. The secret isn't in some complicated technique, it is in simplicity. So let us put aside the complicated feeding schedules and the daily watering cans. Let's forget the notion that more is always better. Instead, we are going to focus on creating a foundation of stability. We will give our pepper plants everything they need right from the start, and then we will step back and allow them to do what they do best. This approach is not only easier for you, the gardener, but it is profoundly better for the plants. It's a lazy gardener's charter, if you will, but one that promises the most delicious and rewarding results. Let's get our hands dirty and discover just how simple it can be. Everything in the garden begins with the soil. For bell peppers, this is perhaps the most critical step of all. They absolutely detest having wet feet, which means heavy clay soil that holds on to water is their worst enemy. What they adore is a light, loose, and beautifully well-draining soil. Before you even think about planting, take the time to prepare the bed. Dig in plenty of organic matter. Well-rotted garden compost, leaf mold, or manure will work wonders. This not only adds gentle nutrients, but, more importantly, it improves the soil structure, creating the perfect balance of moisture retention and drainage that peppers crave for their roots to thrive. Once your soil is ready, we must talk about how we plant. There is a common temptation to bury the stems of young plants deeply, as we might do with tomatoes, in the hope of encouraging more roots. Please resist this urge with your peppers. Bell pepper stems are susceptible to rot if they are buried beneath the soil line. You must plant them at exactly the same depth they were growing in their pot. This simple rule prevents a host of fungal problems and ensures the main stem remains healthy and strong, ready to support the weight of all those future fruits. It is a small detail, but one that makes a world of difference. Now let's consider their neighbors. Spacing is not just about making the garden look tidy. It is about giving each plant the resources it needs to flourish without a fight. Crowding your peppers together forces them to compete for sunlight, water, and nutrients. This competition is a form of stress, the very thing we are trying to avoid. Give each plant plenty of room to breathe. A good distance is about 18 inches, or 45 centimeters, apart in all directions. This allows for good air circulation, which helps prevent disease, and ensures each plant's leaves can soak up the maximum amount of sunlight without being shaded by its neighbor. Finally, a thick layer of mulch is your greatest ally in this quest for stability. After planting, apply a generous layer, at least 2 to 3 inches deep, of organic mulch around the base of each plant. You can use straw, shredded leaves, or your own garden compost. This simple act does 3 crucial things at once. It helps the soil retain that precious moisture, meaning you'll water less often. It keeps the soil temperature stable, protecting the roots from scorching on hot days and keeping them warm on cooler nights. And as it slowly breaks down, it provides a gentle, steady supply of nutrients. Mulching is the cornerstone of lazy, successful gardening. Watering is where many gardeners go wrong. The instinct is to give your plants a little drink every day, especially when the weather is warm. This encourages shallow, weak root systems that are entirely dependent on you. To grow strong, resilient peppers, you must water deeply, but less frequently. Give the soil a thorough soaking, allowing the water to penetrate deep down. Then, leave it alone. Let the top inch or two of soil dry out completely before you even think about watering again. This encourages the plant's roots to grow downwards in search of moisture, creating a robust and self-sufficient root system that can withstand periods of heat and drought far better. When it comes to feeding, simplicity is again our watchword. Peppers are not greedy feeders. In fact, over-fertilizing is a common cause of failure, as too much nitrogen will give you lots of beautiful bushy green leaves, but very few flowers or fruit. If you have prepared your soil with plenty of rich compost, your plants will have most of the nutrients they need for the season. A little boost every few weeks with a gentle, balanced liquid feed, something like a homemade compost tea or a seaweed feed, is more than enough. This provides a gentle trickle of goodness without overwhelming the plant and pushing it into leafy, unproductive growth. Sunlight is the engine that drives all growth, and peppers need plenty of it. They are sun worshippers at heart. You should aim to plant them in the sunniest spot in your garden, a place that receives at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day. This energy is what the plant uses to produce the sugars that make the fruits so sweet and to ripen them to their full, glorious color. Without enough sun, your harvest will be slow, sparse, and the peppers themselves will lack that rich, deep flavor we are all after. So before you plant, spend a day watching the sun move across your garden and pick the prime location. However, there is a balance to be struck. While peppers love sun, they can suffer in extreme, relentless heat. In the peak of summer, particularly in very hot climates, the afternoon sun can be scorching enough to scald the fruits or cause the plant to drop its flowers. If you notice this happening, providing a little temporary shade can be a lifesaver. A piece of shade cloth draped over some stakes or even a strategically placed taller plant can offer some welcome relief during the hottest part of the day. This protects the plant from stress, allowing it to continue producing fruit even when the temperatures soar. The topic of pruning can seem very complicated, with all sorts of rules about what to cut and when. For our simple, low-effort approach to bell peppers, I want you to forget almost all of it. A pepper plant, left to its own devices, will grow into a perfectly fine, bushy shape that is more than capable of producing a good crop. Aggressive pruning can be another source of stress, and it often just removes branches that would have eventually produced fruit. We are not aiming for a perfectly manicured plant. We are aiming for a happy, productive plant, and a bit of natural, untamed growth is perfectly all right. There are, however, two very small and simple pruning tasks that are worthwhile. The first is to pinch off the very first few flowers that appear on your young plants. I know this feels counterintuitive. Why on earth would we remove the promise of the first peppers? The reason is that it encourages the plant to focus its energy on developing a stronger root system and a more robust frame. By sacrificing the first 1 or 2 tiny fruits, you are setting the stage for a much larger, healthier plant that will ultimately produce a far bigger harvest over the entire season. It's a small investment for a much greater return. The only other cutting you should concern yourself with is basic housekeeping. As the season progresses, you may notice some leaves at the bottom of the plant turning yellow or becoming damaged. You might also see a branch that has been broken by the wind or is touching the soil. It is good practice to remove these. Simply snip them off with a clean pair of secateurs. This improves air circulation around the base of the plant, which helps to prevent fungal diseases from taking hold. It also directs the plant's energy towards healthy, productive growth rather than wasting it on trying to support failing leaves. And that is it. No complicated topping, no intricate shaping. Just remove the first couple of flowers and tidy up any damaged or yellowing leaves as you see them. This minimalist approach to pruning keeps the plant healthy without causing it any undue stress. It respects the plant's natural growth habit and allows it to put all its effort into what matters most, producing a continuous supply of delicious peppers for your kitchen table. It is another example of how doing less can often achieve so much more in the garden. It is a gentle hand that guides, rather than a forceful one that dictates. Growing peppers in the ground is wonderful, but do not underestimate the power of a simple pot. For many gardeners, growing bell peppers in containers is actually the easiest path to success. A container gives you complete control over the most important factor: the soil. You can fill it with the perfect, well-draining potting mix from the very start, eliminating any worries about heavy garden clay. A pot also warms up faster in the spring, giving your heat-loving pepper plants the warm roots they crave to get off to a flying start. This control makes creating that stable environment we've talked about incredibly straightforward. The flexibility of a container is another huge advantage. You can move the pot around to chase the sun, ensuring your plant gets the maximum 8 hours of light, even in a garden with shifting shade. If an unexpected heat wave arrives, you can simply move the pot to a spot with some afternoon shade to protect it from the scorching sun. If a late frost threatens in spring or an early one in autumn, you can bring the pot indoors or into a sheltered porch for the night. This mobility allows you to react to the weather, protecting your plant from stress, and extending your growing season at both ends. One of the best-kept secrets of pepper growing is that the plants are not annuals. In their native, warmer climates, they are actually tender perennials, meaning they can live for several years. Here in the UK, the frost usually puts an end to them. However, if you are growing in a pot, you have an opportunity. As autumn draws in and the temperatures drop, you can bring your pepper plant indoors to a bright, sunny windowsill. It may stop producing fruit over the winter, but if you keep it watered, it will survive. When spring returns, you can put it back outside, and you will have a huge, mature plant ready to produce weeks ahead of any new seedlings. This ability to overwinter plants is a game changer. An overwintered pepper plant has a massive head start. Its root system is already fully established, and its woody frame is strong and mature. These second-year plants are often phenomenally productive, giving you an earlier and much larger harvest than you would ever get from a first-year plant. So don't be so quick to pull up your plants at the end of the season. Whether in a pot you can bring indoors or even in a sheltered greenhouse, keeping your pepper plant going can reward you with an even more impressive crop the following year. Knowing when to harvest your peppers is the final piece of our simple puzzle. You can, of course, pick them at any stage. A green bell pepper is simply an unripe pepper. They are crisp and have a slightly sharp flavor, and picking them at this stage has a distinct advantage. When you remove a fruit from the plant, it sends a signal to the plant to produce more flowers, and therefore, more fruit. So, if your goal is the maximum number of peppers over the season, harvesting some of them while they are still green is a very good strategy. It keeps the plant in a productive cycle. However, if you have the patience, allowing the peppers to fully ripen on the plant is a true delight. As they change color, from green to red, yellow, or orange, their sugar content increases dramatically. The flavor becomes incredibly sweet and rich, and their vitamin C content skyrockets. A fully ripened homegrown pepper is a world away from the ones you might buy in the supermarket. The key is to check them regularly. Once they have achieved their full, deep color, use a sharp knife or secateurs to cut them from the plant with a small piece of stem attached. Pulling them by hand can damage the branches. As you can now see, the secret to a fantastic crop of bell peppers is not found in complex routines or special tricks. It is found in consistency. It is about understanding what the plant truly needs. A stable, stress-free environment. By preparing your soil well, watering deeply but infrequently, feeding gently, and mulching generously, you create a foundation of stability that allows the plant to thrive without your constant interference. This low-effort method works so well because it is perfectly aligned with the nature of the plant itself. You are working with it, not against it. So I encourage you to change your approach this year. Put away the desire to fuss and fiddle. Embrace the simple, steady path. Trust in good soil, consistent moisture, and the warmth of the sun. Give your peppers the stable home they crave, and then have the confidence to step back and let them grow. I can almost guarantee that you will be rewarded with your biggest, healthiest, and most delicious harvest of bell peppers yet. It's a wonderful feeling to achieve so much by, in fact, doing so little. Happy gardening!